Hey guys, Codeberry's here today, so hope you're all doing well. Just doing a recap today on the markets. So this is just a broad market overview. So we'll start with crypto. We'll start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin did have a flash crash yesterday. It went from around 54k to about 40k, 41k. Yeah, that all happened. I saw that last night actually after it dumped. I think I was looking around. What time was I looking? Maybe like 1 a.m. 2 a.m. Maybe almost, yeah, maybe around 2 a.m. I noticed that it was hovering at like 40 something. Then I looked and I was like, oh wow. So that all happened in, I guess, 45 minutes or so. You can see that the dump was quite strong. We pushed through these bands here. We have an almost perfect retracement on the 15-minute back to the 200 day moving average, or exponential moving average. So yeah, so that dump was pretty quick and it retraced almost all the way. A lot of the people in this chat, they just think that it just keeps going up. So like if these guys think they're like they're really pro traders. But the thing is, they're all new and they've all started trading in this new crypto era. I'm not talking about 2017. I'm talking about like 2020. That's when most of these people started trading, and they just keep buying crypto and they just think it just keeps going up. Well, they're gonna find out what's gonna happen, because if you go to the bigger time frames, you can see that there's a lot of things here, but you can see that this has not closed down here. And last time we came down there, not saying that's going to happen again, but for that to come down to that blue line, as we said, because look at this, this channel here, this one here, look where that goes. So that, what is that? That's one away from the blue line, I mean the yellow line. See, look, it's almost touching that. So that's volatility. That's usually what happens. That's the main Keltner channel. I don't know what EMA that is exactly, but it has some calculation. But anyways, we haven't closed down there, and I said that we would. So I believe that we definitely, and this thing can move down once it starts moving. See? It starts to move down after a little while. So I believe that this will come down, at least down there. And since the volatility is strong in crypto, at least with the retail investors buying, I said that support was here, if you look back. I don't really use supports too often, but I'll just give an example. There's support there. It's at 13.14. But if this is really strong, we'll probably get bought up between, so probably around here, between this and there, and I think it probably touched that bottom wick just to test. One of these wicks for sure, but I definitely think we'll come down to 20 for sure, and I believe we'll come down below. So I'm thinking somewhere between this range is when, not obviously right now, but somewhere in between that area is where Bitcoin will retrace to on the monthly frame, because these are monthly candles. Because we had several green here, excuse me, and then a few red here, maybe a double top happening here. I don't trade patterns, just an example for people that do. But it does look like there's a lot of resistance here. We came up pretty quick, and there's a lot of room for that to get back down here. Definitely close below there for sure. And I believe we'd probably push down to like at least 17, if not lower. And have a look, because this RSI is still super high, and last time we came down there, recently, when this did dump, we only got down to there. Was that the low? Yeah, that was the low. So look how much further down the RSI we've gotten before. And this is just not even half. This is just part of it. But just have a look. This is where we can get down. So we only got here last time. So think another double of that. almost, right back into the 40s or less. Let's just say we'd get down to the 40s and need just a test. I think we could get down back that yellow one, the default RSI, the yellow one, period 14. I think we could definitely see that RSI monthly come back down here. And that's maybe where you'd, that's not where you, well, maybe that's where you would probably want to buy again, but for me, I would wait till we have, for a long-term swing, I've mentioned this before, just have a look at this, have a look at the MACD default. Once that crosses down, we have several months of decline, so let's say that crossing down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months. Does that sound reasonable? It could. This is a long run here. This is longer than, actually, that's pretty long too. Let's just say, 6 to 8 months. Let's just say 8 months is the max. But really, it could be, well, I guess it's faster now, but let's just say 6 to 8 months of decline. Probably, maybe more. Let's just maybe just say between there, 7 months of decline. If that crosses down, we have lots of room for that, because that's a, well, yeah, that's the peak is higher here. Sorry, the peak is lower here than this one. So once, what does crossing down mean? Well, when that blue line crosses that yellow line down like that, like here, then we'll see the monthly algorithms get triggered into a heavy bear market. Like I said, this was diverging. We had a lot of divergence, signal line going up, histogram going down, and I said that tons of times. And finally, we have a close. Let me remove those. We have a close below. Not that I'm against crypto or anything. I'm just looking for a better time to buy. Look at that histogram from September. We finally closed lower. That means maybe 3 more months, or less, and we'll see a heavy sell-off, like massive. This is going to be massive. Never before seen sell-off, and this will just dump back down here quickly. That's what I think is going to happen. People may oppose to what I say, but I just think that's what's going to happen. That we could see much lower. This could even diverge, right? Look at that. Look, last time we got down to, what, the 200-day moving average on the weekly? Well, where's the 200-day moving average? It's here, and under it. That's exactly where I'm saying 17. Look, under it. Under the 200-day. That was in March, right? This is a pattern, right? But this is not really a pattern. This is a pattern based on a calculation, saying, okay, well, this is our 200-day exponential moving average. And every time we come up and we come down, right? So think about it. We've come up. Well, what's going to happen now? We can come down. Of course we'll come. Well, you don't buy here when it's up. I talked about this in the last video, right? I talked about moving averages. You don't buy. They all say, oh, we'll buy when it crosses up. Well, yeah, it's crossing up, and sell when you cross down. Well, not necessarily, right? Have a look at this going all the way back. It comes below the moving average, 200-day, before it continues back up. So, I think that will happen again. We'll see this come back. And once we starts going up, it'll come down a little bit. Maybe not really. Kind of unchanged, perhaps. Little bit, right? A little bit of maybe down. Little bit. That was the first down. We're on the first down, because I guess it went down, it came up, tested, and then went down again to test, to kind of double bottom, if people know patterns. I don't really trade patterns, as I said. Yeah, so moving averages can really help you. They're the best tool out there. I mean, I haven't been trading frequently. I kind of like the first time I pulled up a chart was like 6 years ago. But I come back every now often. Now I'm back kind of more often. And I can tell you that moving averages do help. We will definitely close below the moving average. I can tell you that much. We will once again close below that moving average on the weekly. That's helpful. There's nothing on the monthly, so weekly is the highest that we have. Daily, we just did. So, and of course we can come back lower. So let's maybe go back to, when was that? When was that last period that it closed below? So I haven't really talked about this before because I don't think I had a 200-day on this. So this video might be helpful. So this was November 2018. So let's have a look here. Because on the shorter time frames, it'll come up and down more often. Alright, so we continue down for a while. Let's see, 2021. Yeah, so last time we've just, a lot of people just use the daily. They don't use any other time frame, so they may just think, again, everything takes time, right? It takes time to learn something, unless you're some kind of super genius and you learn it in one day. But you're not gonna see it all come down in one day, right? It's gonna take time. I tried to explain this to people on Stock Tweets before, but they don't listen. But this whole phase could take a long time. How many weeks was it? Did this one take? December to almost a year of down, bearish decline. So where was the top here? Perhaps it's topping out. So we could get another year from here, or we could say that the year started here. That would may make sense because we said a few more months. So it could say, okay, well, a year from April, so maybe in April. Or maybe from here, it's just topping out. We're going to do an extra long run to go down. And it can take time. And of course, you can trade the way up if you want on the lows, right? You may see a period, a down week here, and then we may see some more momentum in the weeks to come because that's just a test, right? We could see these weeks start to continue down, like this one. This is just the first week, right? This is just the first week down, and we could see a long more weeks to come. So maybe we'll get there just from these few weeks. We'll get a really heavy sell-offs, and that could bring us down there quicker. So maybe 3 months would be more accurate. So we'll see. Hopefully that can help you out. So we'll move on to maybe Ethereum. It's going to be the same for Ethereum. Can't see anything on here. Alright. So same idea, right? We don't have any 200-day moving average. Where is it? Is there one there? Can't really see that because there's enough data to collect it. Yeah, so we got something down there. We did come below here last time. You can see we did get below the the exponential 200-day moving average. So, whoops. So we could see that happen again. Well, we will see that happen again. Like I said 1K, and everyone's laughing at me. Maybe lower than that. I'm thinking maybe 7s, 6s, somewhere between there. Maybe 6s might be too extreme, but 7s, 8s, below it for sure. Somewhere below there. That's what I'm thinking. And actually, my parents were trying to buy Ethereum too, and they're like, "Should I buy it?" And I was like, "Well, no, don't buy it right now. Wait till it goes down. It's way too expensive." They think it just keeps going up. Everybody thinks that, right? They don't know how to trade, or they don't have any experience in the market or anything. Think about we'll talk about it in a sec, but think about the US dollars run. We'll get there in a minute. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Forex a lot too. Because everything relates to each other, right? The US dollars will relate to Bitcoin, because if you see here the pair, it's compared against the US dollar. So this chart is Ethereum versus VS, the US dollar. So yeah. So think about the US dollar's run 14-week high or something. A lot of people are like, wow, it's going up. It's gonna keep going up, right? They don't get like, no, it's gonna go up and then it's gonna massively dump, because once you have a huge spike, it's gonna have a massive dump, and then it's gonna go from there. So that's what happens. People are like, oh yeah, well, the US dollar is going up. That means we should buy it because it's going up. And I'm like the only one in the chat room like, yeah, short it, right? And they're like, oh, well, what the hell? It's so strong. Why would you short it? They don't get it. They think, well, it's going up. That means we should buy it. It's gonna keep going up. I mean, I kind of see that, but if you don't really know how it works, then that's not gonna be correct. They're thinking like, oh yeah, it's going up here. Look, it's gonna keep going up. That's what they think. That's false. It's gonna dump. They don't understand. So maybe I do kind of understand what they're thinking, but they don't understand that it's drifting far away from those average numbers, and then eventually it's going to come back down. So anyways, this is the same thing here. Same thing as Bitcoin. It's just, is that the best ticker we have? Coinbase, Kraken. Let's see. I think that might be the best one that we have. No? Okay, it's all the same here. So yeah, we're going to come below here before we continue up. There's no question about that. And we will cross down here. That looks like it's usually before it follows Bitcoin. So once Bitcoin gets triggered, then Ethereum starts following. Is this the same as the other ticker? Yeah, I guess. We haven't seen any histogram. Well, we did see one there. This is just starting to, because last time you can see the RSI on see the RSI on Ethereum. Have a look at the RSI on Bitcoin. It came below already. So Ethereum's kind of usually follows it after it starts to follow it slowly. So this could take a longer time to dump. But yeah, it's roughly accurate because we said below that 200. So it really could break down below here. What am I saying? I'm looking back, look left, back to this supports, because not this one, not that one, this one. So there's one here that we just bounced off that roughly. I don't use supports, by the way, but just to do an example, I'm looking at the leftmost top of the red candle. Is it top of red or top of green? I think it's top of red. I can't remember. This guy named Jason Stapleton, he had a theory about support and resistance. He said either it was the top of the red or the top of the green to the left. That would be the supports. But I don't usually use it, so I think I mentioned it correctly in my previous videos. But I don't really use those. But the main one is here. And like I said, if it's really strong, we may just get that wick touch. But I think because to look at where that exponential moving average is, it's below that one, where that line is. Actually, no. I think if we get below, it'll be roughly around there, maybe slightly below, maybe around 800. And yeah, it's in the zone, it's in the ballpark. So yeah. That's pretty much everything. Dodges. Oh, maybe. How much did this dump at least? Did we look at the 15? Can't remember. So I'm going to remove all those. Actually, let's not remove all those lines. So there's a dump. It got down to that first level of support. On the monthly, we had a quick buy here and probably continue to sell over the next months. That's what we said. Let's look at Bitcoin here. BTC USD. Same idea. We got below that first support. Here, did we even map those out? Nope. So there was one there, and it doesn't really matter. But maybe I'll just show you. Well, there was one here, one there, that and that here. Okay, I'll just draw them out. Was it top of green? I think it was top of red. I can't remember. I think it was the top of the red. So we have red here. I honestly can't remember, but one there. And then the next one is down there. I think we definitely broke that one. Looking at that red right there. And then the next ones are way down here. I don't think we'll get to that one. That one's at 11K. Probably not. So somewhere between there, somewhere between that tip, as we said, and that lowest line. So second line to last line is probably where we'll go over the next few, if not several months. And yeah, so we'll watch that cross down and see what happens. Dodge is getting absolutely demolished. I first saw that, I think, and I was like, whoa, look at that. That one just wants to cross down right away. So it looks like Elon kind of pulled his money out and sold off. Maybe he did it around the same time Tesla. He released that he was selling his Tesla shares, probably, right? That one's, the monthly RSI is coming down pretty quick though. But that could definitely go back below here if we haven't seen that cross down yet. So you want to watch your MACD, especially on the bigger time frames. That's because you want to buy when it's maybe once you start seeing some inflection, positive inflection to negative infinity, so red to blue in my case. Some other people may have red to green, whatever. But the most important part is to see that histogram go from lower to higher. This is basically just long-term investing stuff, nothing too heavy. Just, you want to look when, like, you don't want to buy here when it's positive histogram. They teach you this stuff in calculus too. I forgot what it's called, but they have like this, they kind of shade this area in like this, and they say that's all positive infinity, or positive, like, yeah, positive infinity, and all this is a different color. Let's say it's red, and that's negative infinity. Well, you want to buy when it's negative infinity, and you don't want to buy here because you'll get caught here. Where was that anyways? Well, probably was a good area to buy in that case a long time ago. But you want to see some momentum maybe starting back up. And it was a little different back then because it was a new stock, so either way it was fine. But usually a lot of people buy when it crosses back over, or that's when a lot of algorithms get triggered. So where did the cross happen? It crossed, you can see right there, that's when the blue and the blue line crossed up, so it closed higher than, or yeah, greater than the yellow line. Or at some point in time it was higher than the yellow line. And that could be coded pretty easily. And we'll get the same thing here. It will become less than the yellow line. And then we'll have probably a long time of decline. Same as Bitcoin, maybe longer. Wait for this to bottom, probably back to a cent or less, fraction of a cent, and then back up again. So that could all take another year. So we're sort of thinking, what, 4 months to a year? So we'll update on that. And that's about it. We'll talk about the dollar, why not? So the dollar had a huge weekly run. So they said like it was like a 14-week high. I think it was a 14-week high. So that's what they said on Bloomberg. I'm not exactly sure what the exact dates were, but we did come up quite high. We are seeing this RSI Weekly starting to get overbought. That's the weekly here, right? We can maybe probably see it back down to 93. Maybe long term we'll see it back down to 91 and then continue up, because we did get well, like, it's the dollar's a little different, right? It's kind of, it stays in a smaller zone. It kind of gets traded quite off a lot, right? It's the economics. Sorry, just take a sip of my drink here. So think about all those people like buying and selling they're buying groceries, they're buying Christmas presents, they're cashing their checks in, they're taking their money, they're buying Christmas ornaments, renovating their houses, building a pool, anything. They're spending, right? So they're getting money, then they're spending. So when they're spending, usually the US dollar declines. So a lot of spending usually happens during the Christmas holidays. Stocks get sold off, assets get sold off, probably Bitcoin, everything gets sold off. They need to get their money for Christmas holidays. They want to go on vacation, they want to buy lots of presents, all that stuff, right? There's a lot of spending, a lot of partying, like what a lot of people drink. A lot of people, I guess, smoke pot now. It's all legal in the States too, in Canada. They want to party, they want to spend money, so that's what happens. Like, it gets sold off, and we do see that candle here closing lower. That weekly candle closing lower than that candle. That one was a doji, and we've made a close lower, and perhaps we could see a retrace back to 94. How is the monthly looking? Well, let's see. Monthly trades in this range. Let's just say that first calendar here, that blue to that blue. Usually it stays in that range unless it gets really volatile. But roughly, we're approaching the top, so maybe we could come up there. Maybe up here. But would we come up to 2016 levels? Well, definitely not to levels when the war was with Bush and stuff. The war in the Middle East, that era. I don't think it's going to come up that high. Because again, all that politics stuff and all that stuff relates into the US dollar. Right now, the price, well, Biden is causing a lot of the inflation because he's cut off the oil supply. He's cutting off oil supply everywhere, from Canada especially. He's cutting off oil supply because he's cutting off oil supply because he wants to go green. Otherwise, he just has his own scheme. I don't know. I guess he wants to go green, but he's probably making money off it too. But he's cut off all the pipelines from Canada, or he's trying to. He cut off one. I forgot the name. But there was one pipeline that he cut off. And then he was trying to cut off one of the line 3s or the line 5 as well. I think he was trying to. But he's cutting off the supply, and that means if there's less supply, then the price would go up because there's more demand. But well, oil was really expensive back then, right? So we could see maybe some more movement continue up if it was to get really bad, because all that stuff ties into groceries, and all the supplies and stuff, because they have to move it around in the trucks. They have to move groceries around, right from province to province, state to state. They use the oil for heating oil and all that stuff too. Yeah, so I think really that once we get up here, maybe we'll probably come back down. But we are starting to see some decline on the faster MACD. We'll have to see. It's hard to really predict that stuff. I wouldn't get too worried on that, because that stuff can change, right? It's all due to economics. But anyways, we'll just we'll talk about some of the Forex pairs and maybe just do a couple stocks, and that'll be it. And next time I'll try to do a video every week now for the holidays. So we'll just look at the the euro against the US dollar. So the euro has been coming down, had a period of decline. This is a monthly. We can see we're having some bullish momentum here. Pretty much the euro is opposite from the US dollar. So if the US dollar is really high, the euro will be really low. So this could be a time to buy the euro. Well, it was. We had the weekly RSI getting oversold. We have it coming back below the 200-day moving average. That could get lower, but RSI is pretty low. So, you know, last time, when was the last time the RSI got that low? Well, it was back in 2015. So it's been a long time since it was that low. So a lot of people might be going long here, which they are. We did drift far away from the 200-day moving average. So we'll just have a look at some other stuff here. So we can see that from the daily 200-day moving average, we did come below. But there's periods when we were quite high as well. So, you know, it just all really depends. But here we do have the RSI coming quite low. As you can see, we did have the weekly come quite low. I think we could get maybe above back up to 114, 116 maybe even, because of course the RSI on the weekly is quite low. 4 hour, well, it had a huge decline, and then on Thanksgiving it just popped. As I said, during the holidays, we did. During like the holidays in the States and stuff, a lot of people are spending. They're buying, they're hosting parties, events, dinners, Thanksgiving dinners, all that stuff, right? They're gonna spend, they're gonna cash out, they're gonna buy stuff, maybe some presents, go Christmas shopping, whatnot. You know, Black Friday, they're gonna spend, buy stuff. So there was a quick kind of reversal. You can see we had the divergence here on the convergence here. Bullish convergence, so it's opposite of divergence, which is bearish divergence. So we can see that the RSI moved higher while the price moved lower. So it kind of closes together, it converges together. And here you can see the MACD doing the same thing. Whoops, that was terrible. Let's try to zoom in here. I might have to click on it. So we can see that the divergence here was quite, the bullish convergence. Forgive me if I mess that up, but on both MACDs we can see it closing, moving higher. Yeah, so we can see a lot of momentum here shifting to the upside. That was a strong signal. A lot of people were probably trading that. I was kind of trading that too. But yeah, it was good. And you can see the histogram here close higher as well. It's kind of hovering, but the histogram started to move higher. We had a cross here. We had the faster MACD diverging as well, while price closed lower. Sorry, converging. And then we had, we continued to move higher, and we will probably see that come back up here at some point. Like you can see how, you know, we came up here and then we moved closer. We at least got above that yellow line, that kind of median line, I call it. So, you know, we came back up here. We came quite far away. Then we closed below that yellow line. So in this case, maybe probably close above that yellow line. And I wouldn't want to get too aggressive and say that it's going to come up here for sure, because you don't want to be like too greedy, right? You want to just kind of say, well, I'll close out when it comes above that yellow line, and hopefully your algorithm works, and that you work. Let's just say hopefully that your algorithm works at least, you know, 75-80% of the time, so you're profitable with your algorithm. But let's just say it drifted quite far away and you want it to close. Well, it already did kind of pop up above there, but once it actually closes above, we did have a wick come up, but once it actually closes above, then you'll close out and move on to the next trade. Again, that could happen for weekly too, because like we haven't touched that yellow line in a long time. We are very low on the RSI. We do have momentum on the MACD moving up. We haven't came close to that orange line, hasn't touched that orange line in a while, right? So maybe we'll continue up here over the next few weeks, because as I said, the US dollar usually gets sold off during the holidays. There's less people in Europe, right, than the States, I think. So yeah. So I think this, my computer's telling me that I'm running out of space. I have to upload a bunch of videos. So I think we'll just close it there, and I'll see you guys next time. If you guys liked the video, you're welcome to subscribe to my channel to see more free content on coding, any technical analysis stuff, and whatnot. And if you don't want to, that's cool, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.